Hello everyone and welcome to this tutorial about modding Baldur's Gate. We will going to be mega modding it in a very extensive way. So the first thing you want to do is go to start and type UAC and change this bar here all the way to the bottom, just so it doesn't ask you every time that it has to install a program or an application. Okay, so you go and accept. I already done that before starting the video, so I don't need to do it again. You just have to make sure this is all the way down. And well, once you have that all the way down and reboot your computer, you want to install the games. I got the versions from Good Old Games. It's a great site. Go and buy them. They are quite cheap, really. Well, okay. We get the setup for Baldur's Gate and the setup for Baldur's Gate 2 complete. You just download them, and here we have a folder somewhere in my user. It doesn't really matter where you put it as long as it's somewhere easy to reach. So let's create a new folder here, which I will name Black Isle. Here we go, Black Isle, and let's create another one which will be called exactly this title, BGII space /space SOA. Exactly this title. Why do we need exactly this title? Because all the little applications that go into modding the game use this route. So let's just name our new folder like that, Baldur's Gate 2 SOM. S is in capitals, O isn't, and A is capitals again. That's important for the modding. Okay, now we have this folder called Black Isle, and inside of it Baldur's Gate 2 Shadows of M. I'll put it in the description, so you just have to copy and paste it. Now we can start by installing the first Baldur's game. So let's go. You tick this and go to options and browse the folder that we created. Let's go to Black Isle and leave it at that. Do not choose this because this is where Baldur's Gate 2 is going to be. Just choose Black Isle. Okay, and let's install it. You just have to wait. Okay, so we installed it, and let's click just exit, and this is how it should be. Inside your Black Isle folder you have to get two folders now: Baldur's Gate with the game we just installed, and this one which we haven't installed yet. So let's go and do it. This is the folder for Baldur's Gate 2 installation, downloaded from Good Old Games. So let's start it, and you tick this and go to options. We don't want this folder's name because mods will not work with it. So let's click in browse. Let's open up BGII again and just click this folder with this name and click OK. As you can see, this really is not what we want either, because it just created an slash and Baldur's Gate 2. So we have to manually delete it, and just for good measure you have to press the delete on your keyboard. Why? Well, because it sometimes leaves a space there, and if it leaves a space the mods will not work. So let's delete the last A and write it again just to make sure. Now that we have exactly this this output, we are going to press install and wait. Okay, so we just have installed it, and that's all we are going to need to start the modifications. So you have inside the BGII folder the installation for the first Baldur's Gate and the installation for the second Baldur's Gate. So next step you want to take is go to the internet. I will give you this link in the description, and go to Spellhole Studios. Right here I'll give you this link, which will get you the member quiet. Finally got the BWS file to fit the latest version of BWP. So you just click download and you download the latest version you can find, and this will start the download. Once you have it, you just go and copy it from your downloads folder and go back to your installation of Baldur's Gate 2. You open this folder and paste it. Okay, now we have the BWS and its version here. Once you have this file inside your Baldur's Gate 2 Shadows of M folder, you click it and double click it and extract it. This will extract a new folder called BWS and the version you're using, but we want all its contents to just be out here. So let's just cut and paste. We have a new folder now which is called Big World Setup, and two files which are called Big World Setup Debug Mod and Just Setup. We are going to double click the one that's not the debug mode, so it opens this program. Now the first thing that it will ask us is the language. We choose English. If you have another if you know German or Russian, you can just do it. We have here the versions we want. We have some options here. We don't have the enhanced editions. What we want here is the BWS Big World Project detailed customization. The detailed customization will let us choose which mods and what components of the mods we want. So let's choose that one and continue. Next is the folders in which this is the Baldur's Gate game is installed. We have just to make sure that the program recognizes it perfectly well. So we have to open up this little 3-point button. You click it and this will pop up. Choose again the Baldur's Gate folder where the first game is installed and click OK, and it has to turn green. If it's not green, or if it's another color, that means it's not the right installation. So we do the same with the second game. We click that little button and click once in this folder. It turned green. Downloads is the folder where all our downloads are going to be stored. Right now there's a new folder which is in the Baldur's Gate 2 installation called Big War Downloads. I don't really recommend to put them there because you can just delete it if you want to get rid of that installation. So I created another folder in my documents called Big World, and they're going to be there. I already downloaded many mods, so in my documents you can see all these mods just there. So next is the version. There are some translations here in different languages which we will not be using. We have English here right now. I'll make another one when we make Spanish, but that's for later. Let's go back. Right now we only want that. The compilation box is to choose one of some pre-chosen mods, and they are quite great. You have to read all these all these brief explanations of what they are. For example, the recommended is a balanced and good extended Baldur's Gate 1 and Baldur's Gate 2 game experience. You can choose whichever you want. I will choose the minimum version so I can just add the mods that I liked the most. Next we hit continue down here, and it will build a dependency table to test for mods if they are compatible. Now, before we go any further, we want to back up our Baldur's Gate 2 installation, so we click this button over here and start the backup. This dialog prompts us to just type the letter Y here and send the enter text. We click that and it begins to make the backup. The backup was created successfully in this directory. Okay, so we click continue, and if we ever want to restore that backup, we just click this button. Okay, there's a test availability for downloads, and there is a test for present modes. But we want to go back now, really. So this was just to create a backup. Let's go back a little. Remember I told you we had the minimum version? Well, if you click in this little 3 points box, it will give you this. In here you can choose whatever mod you want, and there's a very extensive list in any of this. For example, let's choose the big Baldur's Gate 1 mods. For example, the Dark Side of the Sword Coast. It will warn me that I'm choosing something that does not fit my pre-selection. Do you still want to add it? I'll click on Always so that I can just choose without this window popping up every time. Okay, so I'll choose Always, and it gives me a warning that it's not my it does not fit my pre-selection. I also like Northern Tales of the Sword Coast. If you see, when you choose one of these, here in the bottom there's a little description of the mod. So this mod brings you new quests, locations, and new monsters, and it lists the dependencies and conflicts with another mods, but the program makes it easier when you go back. But first let's choose the ones we want. Let's choose all of these, which I think are quite great for the adventures. Okay, in here you can choose whatever part of the mods you want. For example, if you don't want, if you do want unfinished business, but you do not like the part about Goran and the wyverns, you just untick it and it will not get installed. It's just that easy. So let's get this better, and I'll show you what happens next. So I forgot to mention that here you can have you can search any mod that you want, that you recognize. For example, the White Queen. You just type White Queen and click search, and it takes you there. You can just click it and, well, and choose whatever you want. Once you have chosen all the mods that you want installed, you have to press back, and this screen will tell you the conflicts and dependencies of the mods that you want. So in this case, Northern Tales of the Sword Coast dialog patch is needed if you are going to install the Northern Tales of the Sword Coast. So let's tell it to install this mod. We need to install the fixes for items dialog. Yes, install component, install. Let's install this. Oh, I don't want the Darkest Day, for example, so I will get rid of Ajax Minimoth. Let's remove this, and the Darkest Day is no longer needed. I don't like Throne of Ball refinements, so I will also remove the big quest pack. Oh, the big quest pack. Sometimes it doesn't work and you have to go back and do it manually. Let's take this one out. It doesn't matter. All of these mods need Baldur's Gate Trilogy world map, so let's install it. And Kelsey needs Solaufen, so let's install him. It's great. Northern Tales of the Sword Coast is in conflict with Shiloh Chen and the Ogre Magi. So let's search for Shiloh Chen and remove it. Let's untick it and go back. All these need the big picture core component, so let's install it. Big picture Kelsey needs empty scrap pack, so let's install it. All these need this, yeah, let's install them. Generic creature processing is also needed. And Northern Tales of the Sword Coast is in conflict with Jarl's BGII Adventure Pack, so let's get rid of that. We can click here in remove mode and it will go away. Dark Side of the Sword Coast needs this. Let's just install them. Okay, so everything is correct, everything is right. Let's click on continue. But first let me show you how to save your selection. Now we can export selection to a file. Let's just call it new mod for Let's Play. Okay, so we save it, and if something goes wrong, or I don't know, the installation is interrupted, or we want to just restore all the things that we chose, we go to options and import selection from file. And you just have to look for it and it will set the entries just as you had them. So everything is alright. Let's go back and let's click continue here. The backup is already done, and this is to test the availability of downloads. Let's just skip that. The test for present modes is done anyway, so you don't really need that. So let's click in continue, and it's warning me that it's recommended to test the links before the installation, since you might encounter troubles during the installation if download links are broken. If you still want to proceed or have tested the links, click continue, otherwise click cancel. Let's click in continue, and it gives us this. The download logic here will be to report missing mods. That's perfect. It will tell us if a mod could not be downloaded. Now, the extraction logic is the same. This is alright. And the installation logic is a little... it's not exactly right. Why? If there's a report a failed installation, it will stop all the process. You really choose here whatever you feel is right. I will just choose always continue installation, so I can leave the computer alone for hours and not worry about the little mods that could not be installed. let's leave install components in batches here, and let's signal interruptions by playing a ring sound, although I just told it there would be no interruptions. Here you can tick this for the resolution of the game. This is my computer's resolution. If you have selected here the widescreen mode, which I haven't, but it's right here, widescreen mode. I don't really like it, so I will not choose it. If you do not choose it this time, you can always install it later, so it doesn't really matter. The resolution of the game, if you have a higher resolution, if you have a bigger screen, you may want to consider installing the widescreen mode. So let's click in continue and see what it does. This is now checking if the mods are in the downloads folder, which I already told you it's this one, Big World. So it will check if they are there and if they are the correct files. So let's just let it work and wait. So it stopped extracting all the mods, and it gives us this warning: starting the silent extraction of NSIS packages. There will be message boxes that ask you if you want to install several mods. They should disappear directly. If that's not happening, please press enter or click yes to continue. Okay? So let's click continue once and let this program work. It seems to be waiting my response in this instance, so I will choose yes as the instruction said. Let's just click at yes, and let's get rid of this one. Click yes, yes. Okay, finished automatic process. You can go ahead. So we click continue and it will extract whatever is remaining to be extracted. You have to remember that right now you can just disconnect yourself from the internet and get your antivirus unactivated. So it will be easier for Big World Setup to just change whatever it has to change and not get interrupted by your antivirus. Okay, so this reads: all steps to launch the installation are done. The Big World setup immediately begins the real installation by the single way to setups. To prevent problems during the patching process, close your additional security programs, which we have already done. And before doing that, close all open internet connections for safety reasons, which we have already done. So now we're ready to click continue. And that's it. You just have to wait. So let's do that. Well, after waiting a few hours, now we have here that the installation is finished. Thank you for using the Big World setup. So now we can just launch the game as normal. So let's see. And there we go. There's the game. Okay, thank you. Now we can play Baldur's Gate and Tales of the Sword Coast or Shadows of M here and Rune of Ball here. That's an easy way to just install the Baldur's Gate trilogy. And let me show you just quickly how this is done. As you can see, it took us to the first video in the saga, which I can't skip because I have not seen it. So let's watch it just as we close this chapter. This is how easily you can make some of the biggest modifications to Baldur's Gate without worrying too much about it. You don't really need to think. The computer makes everything for you, and it shows you what are the dependencies and what are the conflicts with the mods, so you just have to remove the ones that do not fit with your selection. So, he's another child of Ball, and he gets killed by Sarbuk. We never know his name or anything about him. So, yeah. Just one more unnamed child of Ball, killed by another one. Okay. So now we have our character here in the first Baldur's Gate, and everything is just working great. So that's it for now. I hope you can make your own Megamods with this tutorial. Thanks for watching, see you next time, bye bye.